blanks thanks to my brother, who's a creative person. We don't know for sure. We're still learning. But he came here. I think it's true he came from Australia, right? The ship was chartered. No. Okay, that's what my brother thinks. But
No.
okay. Well, you can get the accurate facts from Dean. But it came here.
We do think it came from Australia, and he was a political prisoner.
That's what my brother thinks, and he went to just about.
Maritime Museum.
He got
in
it
London.
like 3 months ago from London.
I hope he's right. I hope you got the document too.
He made some copies, so you'll have to talk to him. But anyway,
Pretty amazing. Yeah.
but we'll see. But anyway, so Bodega Bay, California. It's a long story, but he eventually got a Mexican land grant, and which is Rancho Las Juntas, which is on that disc there. In 1844, it was officially recognized, and so because of that history, that's what I've named the vineyard after is Rancho Las Juntas. William Welch Wines is the name of the winery because named after this great man, William Welch, who came on the Lady Blackwood to California those many years ago. So, I mean, that's the significance of this photo. And Dean's with the Historical Society, a historian, and has been tracking and providing us great information for quite a few years now. And we've got in the vineyard, I can tell you a little bit more about the land and how that ties in, and how the Welches basically got this land here in the 1880s. So that's
Probably got it back, right?
got it back. Yes, actually, this land was
1880s.
1880s is when Tom Dwayne got it.
Oh, Thomas Wayne.
This actually is part of Rancho Pinol, which I'll tell you, is like right at the edge of Rancho Las Juntas. Rancho Las Juntas, you can see some maps around here. So it extended from Martinez, from the water, all the way to the Walnut Creek BART station, and then this way to basically Franklin Canyon, all the way past where Central Sands wastewater plant is. So it was 13,000 some odd acres. A big chunk of Contra Costa County. So that was the original land grant, and he's a cattle farmer. He wasn't a grape farmer. So, but I'll tell you a little bit more about the land and how we got this land. Yeah, not back, but got this land in the 1880s.
Yeah.
So, but thank you, Dean.
Shall I tell them
Yeah, tell more, please. Yes.
The ship was the first ship that came from Asia after the Mexican Revolution. It was in 1821, and it was the first ship. And the vice consul in San Francisco was connected with his uncle, who was the vice consul in Mexico, and they were in touch with their Scottish relatives. They were like multinational in those days. And this was the maiden voyage of the ship. It was built in Calcutta, and I'd love to see the documentation that got on in Australia.
Right.
But anyway, the ship before they got to Australia was caught in a typhoon off the Philippines, destroyed their masts, and they kind of scotch taped them back together and went to Hawaii to get new masts. And the Hawaiian said, "I'm sorry, none of our palm trees are going to work for a mast. You've got to go to," and this is where they directed them, "you've got to go to Fort Ross in California, the Russian fort, because that was the only shipbuilding on the Pacific coast except down in Mexico." So they went to Fort Ross, and that's when William Welch got off the ship, and he worked at Fort Ross for a little while. He ended up working at the Presidio, and found a wonderful Mexican lady that married him.
Maria Galindo. Yes.
Yeah, Maria Galindo. So there you go.
Okay, well, thank you very much. That'll go great in the history room. Yes.
I'll see if we can get a little plaque or something to put.
Yeah, well, actually, we want to put it in the front. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Dean,
Thank
do you know any history on this building?
No, these guys
Steve
are the
does.
experts.
Yeah, I know a little bit. My great-grandfather built it in 1906. So this used to be the store before Highway 4, which is up there, was built. This was the main highway. And there's a photo there of the wall when it was ranched. My great-grandfather never grew wine grapes. He grew a variety of other fruits. But he owned from about that corner to that corner, 120 some odd acres in this valley. Grew a variety of different produce that he sold out of here, as well as he sold other things, cokes and root beer and stuff like that. So when the freeway opened, it actually opened in 1963, and that's when this store closed. There just wasn't enough business through here anymore, and actually we wouldn't be here right now, be able to speak if this was a freeway. So it's probably a good
But
thing.
they at first were planning.
Really, through here?
Yep. And
Yeah,
they
originally
tore
the freeway
down
was gonna
his
go through here.
his great grandfather's house.
Yeah, the original. You'll see there's a photo of the original house used to be
Rogers,
over there.
Yes. Sadie Rogers' house.
That got torn down as a result of the early discussions of the freeway, they thought it was going to come through here and they were going to take all the land. They ended up taking a fair amount of land, they being the state, when they built the freeway. And we didn't win that back, so they didn't use it all, and then they auctioned it off after the freeway was constructed, and we lost those bids. So that's how a lot of those houses on this side of the road got built, is we lost those bids. And then, yeah, and then this is what we've got left. And I'll tell a little bit of the stories as we walk out there of how I decided to plant grapes and how we took those steps. But
This is actually the person that came up with the name William Welch Wines. He is president of Rogers Ranch, and it is a historical site over in Pleasant Hill. Steve here's related to every local pioneer. The Rogers,
the Dwaynes. Okay, so Thomas Dwayne?
yeah,
Thomas Dwayne. He was married to Sadie Rogers, and so
was born
he
at
was
the
born
Rogers
at
Ranch.
Rogers Ranch. Yeah, and then her sister Rosemary was married to Thomas's brother, another
right,
Dwayne.
John.
John.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
The
And-
dean is in. That's John was on the city council. That's
Yeah.
how what the photos that I want to get of.